This is personal. Now, this is a conversation that a lot of us, particularly people that are in my age bracket, and I am well into my 40s, that have been taught that it's not okay to talk about how we feel, or that perhaps showing how we feel is a sign of weakness. And that, my friends, is furthest from the truth. Now, of course, these conversations are for all age brackets. It's not just in the realm of 40, 50, 60 plus. It really is for everybody. But like I said, I wanted to take this opportunity and speak to the people that have not had the courage to take that step forward. This type of work is quite confronting, and it's quite confronting on many levels, because first and foremost, we have to become leaders of our own life. This isn't about changing the world, because that's never what we're here for. It's not what we've been tasked to do. This is about changing ourselves. And once you take leadership and accountability of your own life and responsibility, you get to realize and to learn that it all starts with you. The conversations, I can go through the rabbit hole at various depths. I know people are at different stages, but first and foremost, we are like movie projectors. Everything that we feel on the inside, we then project and create on the outside. Now, that might be foreign to some, it might be quite comfortable to others that have known about it. But once you understand what accountability and responsibility is, you start to dive into limiting patterns that are part of you, and you start to question why they're there, how come they're there, and why you keep thinking and recycling those patterns. Now, there's a theme in art that I think needs a little bit more of a discussion. And it's not about painting techniques. It's not about color theory. It's a little bit more deeper than that. It's about something that sits underneath the brush. And I really do trust with all my heart that I was guided to make this video, and with faith that it finds the individual that needs this reminder, that you do not need to hustle for your worth. Now, for most artists, self-hate is like a glue on a brush, hard to paint with, but we really keep on gripping it anyway. It's an old pattern, one that I've had to unlearn stroke by stroke, and something that is such a deep undercurrent that we don't even know at most of the times that it's there. Most of us carry it, and we carry it quietly. Sometimes we don't even know that it's there until we see how we react. But it does show up, and it shows up in the way that we speak about ourselves when we mess up a drawing, or when things don't go right in the studio. The way we cringe when someone compliments our work because we can't seem to take anything that's good. And the way we apologize before we even show a sketch. These are deep themes, and something that perhaps isn't always discussed. And the worst part with this inner schism, inner limited belief, is that we think that that's normal.
Somewhere along the way, we were taught subtly or through deep conditioning that we had to earn our worth, that being perfect made us lovable, that being seen meant being judged. So we turned creativity into performance. We made art while hiding ourselves. Life lessons are challenging. Art, however, opens doorways that allows us to see our inner self and to know that we already have inherent worth. You do not have to earn your worth or prove your worth Just remember the ancient light that is already within you. Worth is not about doing more. You do not have to earn what is already part of you. You just being is enough. Your silence is wisdom. You belong here and now as you are.
But here's what I've learnt through painting and through unlearning everything that I was taught. You don't undo self-hate with self-help slogans. You dismantle it by showing up messy, but showing up with awareness, acceptance, and a new value system. By making things that are honest and not impressive. Now, this is a big theme and something that you can dive into and unpack to get to understand more of yourself and remove a limiting pattern. And by remembering you were never meant to be a product, that you are a person, how you show up for your art changes. It's a deep conversation, but one that I think we need to look at more honestly and authentically. If for no other reason than to release the heavy energetic burdens that our bodies carry on a daily basis. And perhaps the worst part is that we subjugate our own selves in our studios because of those limiting undercurrents. Now, to keep this lighthearted, what is self-hate? Self-hate is like that one house guest who never leaves, drinks your wine, criticizes your sofa, and somehow gets invited back over and over again. And unless we become hyper aware, like Gandalf at the bridge yelling, "You shall not pass," it really does sneak through. Again, I can dive into this a lot more than what I have the time now. And before we know it, we're irritated with everything, our art, our lives, ourselves. But it's not the world that's the problem in how we operate. It's the uninvited voice in our head pretending it belongs.
Here's an excerpt from my book, currently in the publishing submission process. For the purpose of clarity, self-hate can also be understood as self-rejection, inner conflict, self-doubt, or emotional estrangement. In essence, a turning away from ourselves. It's the act of constantly questioning our worth, consumed by uncertainty, internal blame, and unrelenting tension. Here's a passage from my book. This belief, I exist because someone else might not, created an existential restlessness. As I grew up into an adult, I was always searching, always chasing something to prove my significance. The cruel paradox of conditional love is that it teaches a child to work for what should have been given freely. And perhaps the saddest part, they may never quite believe they've earned it no matter what they do. So we absorb these messages like sponges, each one shaping the way we see ourselves. Slowly we internalize a belief that who we are is not enough. This is when self-punishment begins. It takes many forms: perfectionism, self-sabotage, people-pleasing, avoidance, addiction, overachievement. But at its core, it is always the same, a subconscious effort to atone for the fact that we are, in our own minds, not enough. The real tragedy, we don't even realize we are doing it. We think we are just working on ourselves, trying to be better. We call it self-improvement, ambition, or discipline. But more often than not, it is nothing more than a form of self-inflicted punishment for an unspoken crime we never actually committed.
If you feel broken, too far gone, or too unsure, I want you to know You are not broken. This is an old pattern. The most probably was inherited from someone else's belief system. Something simple that you can start with is to become aware when those limiting patterns appear. And the best way to do this is with art. Because when you paint, there's no one else that you can scream at other than yourself and take responsibility of what you're doing. So say to yourself, I'm going to sketch something bad on purpose. It doesn't have to be beautiful. It doesn't have to be through obligation. Because the voice in my head, the one that says, I'm not good enough, does not show up when things are perfect. It shows up when I'm most vulnerable, something I've experienced over and over again. So here I am, sketching without trying to impress anyone, simply doing it for me to see what emotions are within me that I can release. And when that voice says, this is awful, you simply say, it's real. And that's enough. It's real because I'm real. Start small, start honest. Every time you create without apology, you loosen the grip of a voice that never was yours to begin with. And that's where real freedom begins. Remember, becoming aware of limiting patterns is not the beginning of the work. It's the end of your old self and the beginning of your new self. This is really, really important to know. One of the things that I learned was that when I became aware of something that was a challenge to move through, I always thought that I was at the beginning of moving through that challenge, when in actual fact, it was the end, because I became aware of something that was with me for so long. And through that awareness, I now had the choice to let it go. So please start to love yourself more, be kinder to yourself more. What I found with art is that you have a lot of self-confrontations that you have to deal with, because like I mentioned, when you're in the studio, there is no one else there. So the responsibility starts and stops with you. It has taken me a long time to move through various limiting patterns, and perhaps why the reason now that I can sit here and discuss it with the global public. And let me make no small bones about this, that to sit in front of people and to have people watch this video is not a small feat, because it has taken various modalities and various clearing of inner work to stand here and calmly be able to talk to everybody. So I say this with love and light. I'm not the first, you're not going to be the first, and certainly you're not going to be the last. But do take a moment to look at some of this inner work for yourself, and you'll find that it's like when you notice that the air conditioning noise in the background stops, that all of a sudden that you don't need to carry that it was always peaceful, but somehow that noise was there. And when you learn to stop that noise, you find a different world begins to show up for you. Because remember, you are the projector of your life. Whatever you think within, whatever your thoughts, feelings, emotions, it's what you project outside and what you're creating. That's really important to know. I thank you with all my heart. I thank you lovingly for tuning in, and I hope some of my words resonate with your inner light, with your frequency. I hope that it inspires you enough to at least begin to question how you can bring inner lightness within your mind, within your body, within your spiritual self, and allow for that to expand creatively in your studio. As always, I want you to remember, while you are in this world, you are the light of the world. With all my heart, I thank you for watching and I thank you for tuning in. And until next time, bye.